They say the difference between a good painting and a great painting is only 5 strokes. But usually, they're the 5 boldest strokes. Well, you know how I'm gonna make a painting? I'm gonna do 5 bold strokes to your dick! Okay. Hi, welcome to
5 bold strokes inside your mom.
5 bold strokes. To boldly stroke where no one has stroked before. Boldly stroking. Mm-hmm. And moving forward. Mm-hmm. Hi, hey, welcome to The Swamp. It's our podcast. It's an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
Oh, hey, happy Pride. In case you didn't know, it's Pride Month, and we're trying to do rom-coms.
Emphasis on trying.
We're trying so hard. Honestly, we can get into it. I'm going to pivot and say that this is a coming-of-age film.
Yes.
Rather than a rom-com.
Yes.
I'm going to say it was mislabeled in that way. But today we're going to be talking about the half of it. It's the 2020 Netflix original. We were going to do Alice Wu's other movie, Saving Face, from 2004, but we felt like that was maybe too close to last week.
Yeah.
But now I'm rethinking it because it was cute, but it was not great.
It was, confusingly bad. You know what I mean? The one thing I will say is I didn't hate the pacing of it. I, flew through this movie. I watched it, on my lunch break and on my commute home. And it was fine in that way. But there's a lot of things...
The pacing was good in the way that I knew that I liked the first half and I didn't like the second half. That's the pacing that happened to me, because...
Yeah.
It was really going somewhere, and I think this movie had all of the ingredients, all of the good tropes, to be kind of, cute, but then just the second half of it, the whole, he, makes a homophobic comment out of religious necessity to her, and, that whole interaction just really...
Did I miss that?
Yeah, remember, he tries to kiss her.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you like someone else, don't you? And then she looks, and she sees the girl, and then he's like, you're gonna go to hell, you know that, right?
Oh, why did I not even hear that?
He's like, so he gets all, high and mighty, and is like, that's a sin. It's not that he's mad that it's the same girl, he's mad because he's a little bigot.
Oh, Christ.
And then
here we go.
That's him Googling the Am I Gay quiz is his himbo way of trying to understand where she could be coming from, which I also didn't really like the, infantilization of, men just need to be taught. Oh, we just need to reach a hand out.
But at the same time, why was he the only character that I liked in this movie?
Oh my god, I cannot believe you said that. I hated this man.
Oh, no, well, I like a golden retriever and a himbo. Mm-hmm. I will say that. Yeah, well, I didn't think not a single character in this movie was likable.
Yeah, it was kind of tough because I think they spent a little too much time on the wrong things. I think all of them had the capacity to be likable. I was almost getting there with, what was his name? Paul, the himbo character. Yeah. I was kind of almost getting there with him, but just, everything else was there. The concept, the lesbian himbo friendship is such a beautiful concept that needs to be explored throughout so much more media. Put lesbians and himbos together, and that's
my
a movie,
favorite
right?
example of this is in Sex Education season 3, I think. I think it's season 3 with
Ola.
Yeah, Ola and what's his name, Mr. Groff's son.
Yeah,
not Jonathan Groff.
Not Jonathan Groff.
Adam. Ola and Adam.
Yes. Beautiful.
Love it. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, this was really rough. I hated Ellie's character. Just because, I'm sorry, it's not enough to just write a lesbian these days. You actually have to give them character and make them likable as well for me to like them. I can still dislike a lesbian.
Yeah, right? Yeah, well, just because it's a gay movie doesn't mean it's good. That's what we're learning this week.
Exactly.
Just because the gays touched it does not mean that she gets the stamp of approval. But I was appreciative that this movie was written and directed by Alice Wu, who is, I believe she's Taiwanese American. And she also made that other rom-com, Saving Face, in 2004. And I was, like, looking into it a little bit because I had also never heard of that movie too much, and I guess, like, a bunch of big studios wanted to buy the script from her and change it.
Oh, I'm sure.
A little, you know, they're like, oh, a great rom-com, you know, let's snatch it, whether they were gonna undo the gay parts or undo the Chinese-American parts, like, you know, she was like, no, because it's important that this movie is made by somebody who has experienced those things because, like, you know, it's my story or whatever. And so I think probably what happened is, like, the big wigs who were pissed that she wouldn't sell, like, purposefully got her movie tanked, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Especially in 2004, like, I feel like that probably happened.
Oh, yeah.
But this movie as well, I really liked the sort of, Asian American immigrant experience in the smallest kind of town, like that perspective, I thought was cool, and I wish that they had focused on that a little bit more.
Tell me about the dead mom.
Right, or, like, they were doing all these, like, pseudo-philosophical, like, musings about, like, what does it mean for two souls to be connected? And I was like, what the fuck is, like, oh, we're gonna cite some of the great philosophers. Like, that didn't do it for me.
Ooh, I'm gonna bang my head into the table. Shut up!
Like, take all of that out and spend more time with, like, her and her dad. I want to figure out, like, their dynamic.
Or just give me, like, an extra scene with her and Aster. Anything. Mm-hmm. That shit was weird as fuck.
What, them in the
yeah, in the fucking oasis? In the grotto? Like, get out of my face, dog.
Come on, are you not telling me in high school if somebody was like, come to my secret spot, and it was a fucking hot spring, that you wouldn't just be in love with them? I would. Hot spring?
I absolutely would. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I need more from those two. Oh my god. It's just... it didn't ever explore, like, any... It didn't really show us any feelings that she had for Aster. It just showed us conversations, and it also didn't show us her grappling with any guilt she might have felt. From, one, doing this to this girl, because it's fucked up, and two, like, kind of betraying her friend. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just, there was so much that was left unexplored. And I think there was a lot of really cute and tender moments in there that I really liked. And obviously, yes, if someone brought me to their sexy little hot spring, I'm dropping trow right there. But, like, if some
30-year-old woman I go to high school with, she was 30.
That's one of the first things I wrote. I said, who is this woman in their high school?
Like, yeah, of course you're both really into this 30-year-old who goes to high school and also is so smart and cool and understands every literary reference, and she's just so, like, #deep, and she's just, like, not like the other girls who wear infinity scarves, love football, love truck. She read. Book girl. No truck girl, book girl. Like, ugh, oh my god. I totally agree with you. I felt like they spent so much time of Paul and Ellie's characters investigating about Aster to, like, what does she like to read, blah, 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 where her character, to me, was not important in the story. It was about the friendship that they were, like, forming, or treading deeper into this sticky situation, right? Yeah. Where maybe, now she considers him a friend, maybe she does start to feel guilty. Like, that never gets touched on, because it just keeps being like, let's characterize this, I wouldn't say she's like a manic pixie dream girl, but like, let's just continue to just explain things about her and her personality that don't matter. I don't care that she loves her painting fucking sucked, bro.
Horrible. Not that I could do any better. I do paint by numbers.
It was fine. It was passable. It was a cute little watercolor. You're not getting into art school with that.
I was about to say, no fucking art school is taking your ass.
At the end, when she's like, I need 5 pieces for my portfolio. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you need 5 pieces that you've, like, submitted to art shows. Like, you can't just be drawn and apply to art school. I'm pretty sure you gotta, like...
I don't know.
It's like college.
I wish that we got more... Like, I loved the scene of Paul and her dad just tossing some meat around like boys.
I loved the dad. He was the saving grace in this movie for me. Yes. I wanted so much more of the 3 of them together, right? Because then you have also a more interesting story to explore of, like, found family between, you know, two unlikely friends in this, you know, community that maybe would, like, turn their backs on these people for, you know, I just felt like they opened a lot of doors, and we didn't necessarily go through them, you know?
Should we give a bit of a recap?
Oh, yeah, I guess I've just been, like, hemming and hawing. Mostly I'm just bummed we haven't fucking found a good one yet. Like,
we're really pushing it.
Shouts out in the comments, please.
We're 3 for 3.
If you're listening on Spotify, you can just, in the Q&As, it says suggest a movie, it's right underneath. Tell me a good gay rom-com. I guess
please, anything.
I was contemplating earlier, is Bottoms a rom-com? No. I would say it's just a comedy.
Just a comedy, yeah.
But there is romance.
No, not enough romance. Yeah. Well, I think it's hard for us to find any romance or rom-coms these days. We're in a rom-com drought. What's the last good rom-com that came out? A new rom-com.
People liked that Sydney Sweeney one, right? People liked the Sydney Sweeney Glenn Powell one. I didn't see it, but
sure.
I think that's the last one that, like, did pretty commercially well. Because so many of them,
couldn't say.
I think though the way to look at that market is kind of interesting, because I do think like 95% of them are coming out on streaming services rather to theaters now. I think
absolutely.
The rom-com, because it's so associated with like women, right? It's for girls. Rom-coms are for girls. It's a movies for girls, right? That's what, you know, the general consensus would generally be. So it's like, oh, well, those don't need big budgets because it's just silly little rom-com girl media. So we can just, you know, those stories aren't important. They can get low budgets. They can go right to video on demand, no theater runs. You know what I mean? I feel like that is probably the number of shitty action movies that get $100 million budgets to do your fucking CGI bullshit. Imagine if we gave those to, like, interesting rom-coms, right? Let them...
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Let them have a theater run. Maybe I don't actually hate rom-coms, I just am not, like, being fed them in the correct plate. I don't know, because...
You need to watch a Hugh Grant one.
Maybe. I don't like him, though, because I know his secrets. I can't like him. I think I'm incapable of finding him hot now.
That fucking sucks for you. But so, the half of it starts out... Ellie Chu is, you get the sense she's this kind of like
nerd alert.
Yeah.
Like, nerd alert.
She bikes to school every day. She writes people's papers for them. She plays the piano in the band, whatever.
Okay, I'm sorry to pause. No fucking high school in America is having band and chorus practice in the same room at the same time. Maybe fucking after school, maybe show choir, bitch. Chorus and band together? No. And nevertheless, they are not singing John Denver. You are singing chamber hymns from the 14th century because it's fucking educational, bitch. You don't get to just show up to school and have some kid in band strum along while you sing John Denver. That's not America. That's not happening. That pissed me off so hard. She's like playing the piano while everyone sings. I'm like, are they paying you to be here? Band gets their own practice.
Unbearable. Oh yeah.
Anyways.
But so... and mind you, it's announced that there's a mandatory recital. We'll get back to that.
Oh my god.
Mandatory talent show.
For all seniors.
Actually, you know what? I'll say it right now. Never in a million fucking years would that happen, and if it did, I would have been dead.
No, do you know what?
I wouldn't be here today. I never in a million fucking years.
If we were...
Actually, that's a lie.
If we were mandated to do a talent show our senior year, I think I would have done something so horrendously bad on purpose to...
Yeah.
Just because I was so pissed that I was being made to do that.
That makes sense.
Like...
And that very much screams you.
Don't tell me what to do.
I would have gone on stage and queefed.
Into the mic. Peace out with my diploma.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I would have learned to queef on command.
Oh my God.
I have so much respect for the girls that can do that. That shit is crazy.
It's...
Have you ever met someone that can?
No, and not... If I have, I certainly haven't known about it. I mean, I guess it's like the same as people who can, like, burp the alphabet, you know? Like...
Exactly, but I don't know. I dated this person for a little while, and my first introduction to their friends was us having a handful of drinks, and one of them being like, you want to hear me queef on command? I was like, what am I going to say, no?
I would have been like, so glad I know that about
Genuinely
you now.
very impressive. Genuinely very impressive, if you can.
Oh my god. But Ellie Chu doesn't queef on command. She plays a really heartfelt song on the guitar.
I'm convinced that Ellie Chu has Barbie genitals. She's just repressed. Yeah. I get it. I get what they're trying to say with all the fucking layers and all that shit. I'm not, coming for her. We get it. But I just don't like her.
I support you, Ellie Chu. I kind of did like her. I don't. I thought she was kind of sweet. I was more disappointed. I hate to put all of the, weight on one character or one actress, but it's like, how many representations of, queer Asian Americans do we have in mainstream media? So few, right? Those two intersecting marginalized communities, so thin. So I'm sure people, when they get the chance to see representation, and it's like, it's a bummer she's not that interesting.
I know. This saving face, and then, Jobu Tupaki.
Oh, yeah!
Everything everywhere.
Right, that's all you get.
That's it.
Honestly, at least...
I would like to think that I was wrong. Hopefully there is others out there, and I just don't know about it. But yeah, it truly is a shame that it was just, she was just such a jaded character that it was really hard to like her.
Yeah, so jaded, and I think they did this a little bit with all the characters, but they tried to make her do too much. She was the essay girl, she's a writer, but she's also a romantic, but she's also in band, but she also knows a lot about philosophy and literature. I'm you're in high school. Yeah. You're in high school. You don't have to be that serious and that deep. Let her be a little goofy, or I don't know, have one hobby that's kind of weird or something. You know what I mean? I'm we don't have to spread her so thin.
Exactly. Paul, I couldn't even tell you his last name. Paul. This kid, Paul, ends up coming up to her and he's like, hey, I'm in love with this girl, Aster. Will you help me write her a little love note? And she's like, fuck you, no. And then she's like, wait, I need money to keep the house electricity running. I'll do it. So she takes his money, and then they basically get entangled into this big scheme of her writing letters for him to her, and her instant messaging her, essentially, and it just becomes this whole big plot where Paul is pretending to be texting this girl and hanging out with this girl, and Ellie is the one that's really interacting with her, and anytime Paul actually sees her, it's really awkward and shit. And then eventually it kind of just spirals into Paul thinks Ellie likes him, and he tries to kiss her, and Ellie's like, what the fuck? No.
Bitch, I'm gay. And he's like, you're going
bitch, I'm gay. Yeah, and Ellie's like, I kind of like Aster, and it just becomes a whole thing. And meanwhile, Aster has a whole boyfriend throughout this entire thing.
Who
it's very weird.
Proposes to her?
Yeah, and apparently, he, ends up proposing to her after, Ellie and Paul have, a falling out for a while, but her boyfriend, Trig. Proposes to her in church, and she's like, yeah, I guess I will, and then, Paul has, an outburst being like, no, don't, I've been pretending, and it sucks, and then Ellie has an outburst, and she's like, and Aster kind of puts all the pieces together. And then the movie cuts to 3 months later. Nothing has been resolved, but I guess Paul and Ellie are friends again. And then Ellie runs into Aster and is like, hey, sorry about all that. Have a nice life. And Aster's like, you know what, you were a dick, but it's okay. I'm going to art school. And Ellie says, sick, I'm going to college. And then Ellie starts to ride away. Turns around, gives her a nice big kiss on the lips, and then rides off on her bike and decides and gets on a train to go to college, and Paul chases after her, and it's a beautiful message about love and friendship. And it's all over the place.
So cute. I think this movie lost me at two specific moments. And I think the moment in which I felt like the two of them, like, crossed the line with Aster to, like, I think it's okay to, like, get help from your friend when you're texting someone that you like. Like,
sure,
that's, you know,
like,
that's, you know, maybe they...
Who hasn't, like, been with their girly pop and been like, oh my god, what do I say?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm
like, that is very understandable. But like, her texting her... as him?
Yeah. So that's what I was, like, marking the progress in my head where I'm like, when is this getting so messy that I'm, like, actually finding these characters to be kind of unlikable, like you said? So it was like, oh, the helping, and they're like, oh, we both like her, so we're kind of in, you know, researching her interests. Oh, you should read these books. Yeah. That's also, I was like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. Soon as he was on a date with her and she was on fucking speakerphone in the car sitting outside, I was like, criminal. Go to jail. If I was fucking Aster, I would have been like, both of you, prison. Literally. Because that's psychopath behavior. Like, that's... Oh, yeah. That's wild to me. And then later, when Loverboy does his big proposal in the church, and then she's just kind of like, yeah, I guess so. I was like, I don't feel bad for you now, either. What do you mean you feel so trapped here in this little town? Like... Your father is the pastor. You clearly have influence. You're so hot you could get anything you want in this life. Like, why do you feel so indebted to this boy that, like, I guess I have to stay here in this small town and just be a little housewife? Like, literally no one is saying that to you. You can just say no.
It's so weird, dude. And I think, like, if you made this movie in, like, the 90s, then maybe I could understand. Mm-hmm. But, like, this town almost, like... What, is it like a 3-mile, like, hike to the nearest gas station? Like, are you stranded? I don't understand.
Wait, what was the name of the town? It was like Saskatoon or something. Like, they're like, why are you gonna stay here forever? Or like, at one point, Ellie asked Paul, like, so why do you stay in this town? And I'm like, cause we're in high school, bitch. What the fuck do you mean, why am I staying here? Cause I'm 17 and I live with my parents. Yeah. Like, what the hell?
I don't know. I liked Paul, though, unfortunately. I liked his actor. I would love to see him and Sean Delaney, who plays Kenny in Killing Eve, to play brothers in... do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, the guy with the curly hair.
Yeah, I would love to see them play brothers in
I could see
something. That. But yeah, Aster didn't do anything for me. Ellie didn't do anything for me. Can I tell you how I would change this movie?
Yes, please.
I would have it be exactly what it is up until the 35-minute mark when Aster and Ellie go up to their secret grotto or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I would have Aster murder Ellie Jennifer's Body style because she's not an idiot and she's figured out their schemes, and it's like basically a perfect it's a perfect plot twist.
Okay, I would say I disagree with their actions. I do not think they should get killed for it, Emily. It wasn't that bad. It's not that egregious. I don't know if Miss Ellie...
I just think it would be far more interesting.
I don't know. I thought you were gonna say that the two of them they have their little moment, and I thought that there was a genuine moment where Aster experienced sort of, I'm having...
gayness?
Yeah, she's like, I'm having this conversation with a girl who seems to really understand me, and that's something that I simply have never felt for a man before, which I do believe is the budding feelings of a lot of, early lesbians of like, I just don't have that same kind of, like, reciprocal admiration and connection when speaking to people with men as I do with women, right? Like, that just is a kind of an easy clue in first step. That's really all we got to indicate, other than the fact that she hates her boyfriend who sucks and isn't really into Paul who also sucks. That's our only indication that she might be a little fruity. If we got the two of them, her actually opening up, us learning actual interesting things about the both of them. The two of them are like, yes, we are gay, but now let's navigate that as we're both not white, queer women in this Saskatoon fucking, what state were they even supposed to be in? Iowa?
I don't know. I thought it was Washington at one point, and then I don't know.
Because she talked about moving from Sacramento, but I'm like, just because you came from California doesn't mean you're still in California. But then at the end, they were like, good luck in Idaho, but I didn't know if that meant the college she was I don't even know. But Anyways, I feel like them then being like, oh no, now we have Paul and Trig to, like, face the wrath of... Because in real life, you know, with him being like, you're going to hell, like, that's the modest reaction, right? In real life, Paul fucking hate crimes Ellie, right? And, like, not that that's what that movie has to be like, and I like that they're friends and we got... that very sweet sort of rendition of this, but I'm like, apparently if it's Saskatoon, middle of nowhere fucking Iowa, yeah, these people are all gonna be homophobic as shit. Like, we get a little snide comment from Paul's mom about, like, the Am I Gay quiz, and he's like, oh no, it's not me, and she's like, oh, thank God. She's like, I would have loved you anyway, but, like, oh, thank God. Oh, but I'm more mad that you want to change the sausage recipe than that you are theoretically gay. Oh, haha, what a silly little joke I just made. I was just like, okay, I don't think that
whatever, lady.
Really needed to be in there. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, like, these people would be homophobic as shit. They would see little Ellie in her little hoodie, and they'd be like, you can't play piano at this church.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Owl emoji. Oh, what was it? Pineapple emoji, owl emoji, caterpillar wearing glasses emoji. What emojis are here? The mom emoji, and the chocolate emoji, and then the vanilla one, maybe? I don't know. How am I introing this segment? Hey, it's Jen. She's here to do her interim podcast segment, chocolate or vanilla. She's gonna say two things. We're all gonna say which one we like better. Hi, Jen. How are you today? And is there a theme this week?
I am good, and there is no theme.
Yes!
Yeah.
You just, like, cried like you were, like, running into battle. Like you were, like taking a victorious blow in battle. Like, yeah!
That's what it felt to me.
Like Braveheart. Yeah, that was beautiful.
So, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Race a dirt bike or race a jet ski?
Race a jet ski, because has anyone ever died jet skiing? Probably less. So dirt bikes are fucking scary, bro. Dirt bikes are scary. You need
Horrifying.
to wear a helmet. Wear a helmet,
Absolutely.
everyone out there. Also, jet skis are just cooler. That's more fun. Dolphins.
Absolutely. I'm on the jet ski wave with you for this. Yeah, at least I know I'm falling into water and it's gonna hurt, but at least I think my chances of death are a lot smaller.
Also, we're racing. You're telling me we're racing?
Sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with jet ski. Going to a movie that everyone likes it except for you, or going to a movie where you like it and everybody else hates it.
This is a double down, because I love both of these things, Jen. I love to be a hater and I love to be right. But I'm gonna say I prefer hating a movie everyone likes, because that is less work to me than trying to fight with people who don't like something. Because I'd rather be the obstinate one not willing to change my mind than be trying to convince someone, you know what I mean? So
Totally agreed. And I kind of like being a hater.
Yeah.
Sorry to say it.
This is kind of a haters podcast.
I know that might be a little ugly of me, but I can't help it. So
God, just let me have this. Just let me be mean every once in a while. Like, I fucking earned it.
yeah, so I'm gonna say going to a movie that I hate and everyone loved.
See, and I love you both, especially because you're haters, but both of these things bum me out because I'm not a hater. I would like, if I'm the only one who likes it, I'm so bummed out because no one's with me.
Yeah.
And then if everyone else likes it, I feel like I can't say I didn't like it, you know?
Yeah, you feel crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie or anything, but, so I'm gonna go with everyone likes it except for me. Next one, Tylenol or Advil?
Oh, what's the difference? Which one is also anti-inflammatory? Whatever one is ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is Advil, right?
Advil is ibuprofen.
Yeah, yes. Ibuprofen. I take ibuprofen over Tylenol. This is my preference.
Yeah, I'm an ibuprofen stan, so I'm gonna go Advil. Yeah.
I'm gonna Tylenol all day for me. I don't like taking anti-inflammatories.
See, because I'm always swollen, so I gotta be taking care of that.
Also, what does Tylenol do?
I have some kind of itis. It's just for pain. Acetaminophen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot tip, I know I've said this before on the podcast, but one of the hottest tips Jen has ever imparted onto me in a mother-daughter kind of way is that Midol is fake, don't buy it. The pills that they sell that for your period cramps are no different, and that the thing you should do is just take 2 extra strength Tylenol and drink a Diet Coke. Have some caffeine
with an Advil. So it's a combination of acetaminophen and ibuprofen and caffeine. So you just take one Tylenol, one Advil with a Coke. Same thing.
Yeah. Fuck you, Big Pharma. Anyways.
Just package it in Midol, a little pink pill, but no, I would go Tylenol. That's my go-to. Next one is aviators, like the sunglasses, or wrap around like the Oakley ones.
Oh, aviators.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like the Oakley ones, the only people who really pull that off is like middle-aged men who are like golfing or basically just golfing.
I kind of like the Oakleys right now. They're kind of giving, and I feel like if with the right outfit, I could really slay them. I don't think I have the face for aviators, so.
Yeah, see, I think I like the idea of aviators, but they look awful on me. And I don't like the idea of the wraparounds, but they look good on me. So,
yeah.
So I will go with the Oakleys. I have a pink pair that I wear golfing.
Cute.
When I'm a middle-aged
Yes, golfing.
man.
It's a golf thing. I just did a big girl thing, and I got my first in like 7 or 8 years, probably my first pair of prescription sunglasses.
That is such an adult thing.
Thank you. I was like, for when I'm driving, sometimes I'm like, I just need them, and like now I just own them. But because before I straight up, because I don't wear contacts either, I just did not ever wear sunglasses ever in any situation.
Next one, pink lipstick or red lipstick?
I'll say red. Red's a little bolder.
I think it's a lot cooler if you can pull off a red lipstick. So I'll go red.
Yeah, I agree. I like the idea of red lipstick, but I think it looks horrible on me, so I'm going to have to go pink.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You really got to be committing to the bit.
Next one, a white chocolate macadamia nut cookie or a snickerdoodle cookie?
Oh, a snickerdoodle. Oh, I love a snickerdoodle.
I'm going to go white chocolate macadamia, actually. Those things just hit the right spot, dude.
I could easily pick either one of these depending on the day, but I'm going to go white chocolate macadamia nut. Next one, Summer Olympics or Winter Olympics?
Summer
Olympics.
The only time I feel like a goddamn American is when Katie Ledecky is on my TV. That girl can swim, and I don't know anything else. Also, gymnastics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think summer just has a lot more fun and interesting sports as well. There's so much in the Winter Olympics that is just all the same to me. I don't care. So I'm going to go summer.
Yeah. I will go summer too, but I am a big Olympic fan in any way, shape, or form.
Nice.
I'm super excited for the Summer Olympics. Mm-hmm. Next one, cupcake or cheesecake?
Cheesecake. Sometimes I don't really fuck with a cupcake because I don't like the cake to frosting ratio. That's way too much frosting to be on one little piece of cake. So I'll pick a cheesecake.
I find that cheesecakes are usually too heavy for me, so I'm going to go cupcake.
Yeah, I am going to go cupcake too. I like cheesecake, but I do not love it.
Yeah, and I don't mind the ratio.
I love cream cheese. I want my bagel to cream cheese ratio to be 1-to-1. I want to eat a block of cream cheese like nothing. I love me a cheesecake. Mm.
Do you like flavored cream cheese or plain cream cheese?
On my bagels, usually I go plain because my bagel is everything.
Yeah.
But I'll do a chive or something. I'll do like a chive. Yeah, but I don't really
love a veggie. Veggie cream cheese.
Too much going on. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love honey walnut cream cheese.
Oh. Okay, fancy. Ooh.
At Tandem Bagel in Amherst.
Shouts out in Amherst, Mass.
Next one, fake pearls or fake diamonds?
Fake pearls. I feel like who cares if they're real either way?
Yeah.
Who can tell? But I know there's something about pearls where like a string of pearls, if they're real, there will be a knot in between each pearl. So that way, if it breaks, they don't all fall off and you lose your bajillion-dollar necklace, right? So if they're fake, if there's no little knot in between each of them, you know that they're probably fake because that person doesn't care if they lose them all or something. In like the olden days, that was a little.
I can picture the little knot between them, like
Yeah, I think that diamonds are overrated, so I'll go pearls.
I agree with you that diamonds are overrated, but I'm not a pearl girl, so I will take my
Fair
fake
enough.
diamonds. Take my
There you go.
Groupon $10 Morganite
Show me that cute
diamonds.
zirconium.
Yep.
Next one, starting a good book or finishing a good book?
Oh, finishing a good book. Because so many books are not good. You know how unsatisfying it is to finish a mid book? Ugh. Well, you're like, I just wasted all my brain power on something that was mid. Finishing a fucking good book? Because even if there isn't a sequel, you can still, like, dive into then I want to read what other people thought about it and really just, like, get into the community. Yes.
I'm going to say starting a good book for that reason, because it's so hard to find the next good book after that. And when it's so nice to be like, oh, I'm ripping through this. So I'll say starting.
Yeah. I'll go with finishing. So Dara inspired me. One of my friends who's a big reader, I'm like, let's start a mini book club that you pick a book and we'll both read it, and then I'll pick a book and then we both read it. She picked a book that was 795 pages. I was like, Jill.
She said, oh, you want to work, bitch.
That's criminal.
And she read like 2 books in the meantime too, and I was like, whew, I just like barely got it finished. It was a lot. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was okay. It didn't need to be that long though.
Some people don't watch TV.
Yes.
All I'll say about that.
Yeah, we were on vacation, and my mother-in-law's friends were like, "Oh yeah, we don't watch TV," and they're always reading a book.
Grow up.
Yeah, which makes me feel like a piece of shit.
I'm like, I'm actually watching 9 different reality TV programs, and then I listen to a podcast that recap the episode I just watched. So that's where I'm at.
When my podcasts take longer than the show, like
yeah. I watch an hour-long reality show, and then I listen to a 3-hour recap.
podcasts on it. Next one is Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies or Samoas.
I don't fuck with a Thin Mint, and I'm a Samoa ass bitch.
Absolutely on the Samoa train with her.
Yep, I could eat a whole box of those once they're open.
Easy.
Oh my god.
Yep.
And last one. So eating at a restaurant that's like family style with the long table with all the food in the middle that you reach for, or eating at a restaurant that's a buffet.
I feel I've never ate at a restaurant where I was like reaching into the middle of the table for like, other than like sharing apps and stuff. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's like a fucking a bowl of lasagna in the middle. Yeah. I've never done that.
Wright's Chicken Farm is like that, or like
Simply couldn't be me. Yeah, that sounds like a southern thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been to a shrimp.
I want to do a shrimp boil. I think that would be fun.
I'd love that.
Seafood boil.
Yeah.
There's this restaurant in the city that we live near called My Sister's Crawfish 2, and it's a seafood boil restaurant. But there's no My Sister's Crawfish or My Sister's Crawfish 1. It's just My Sister's Crawfish 2.
Love that.
It's so iconic. I think about it every day. My Sister's Crawfish 2. They're really owning the seafood boil restaurant community in Central Mass.
Change the plot from My Sister's Keeper to My Sister's Crawfish Boil.
My Sister's Crawfish. I guess I'll pick buffet. I can get down with the buffet, I guess.
I will go buffet as well, because I can't always trust the people that I am in a group with, and if they munch up some of the stuff that I was looking forward to, I'm going to be pissed. I would rather make my own plate.
Wait, can I be really vulnerable here for a second?
Please.
I recognize my flaws, and I know I'm not perfect. And something about me that's really not good. Like, it's a red flag to the point where if somebody, like, wanted to stop dating me because I did this, I would totally see their reasoning.
Oh, God.
I take the best nacho. I reach in when there's an appetizer. When there's an appetizer plate, I reach in and I take the best one first immediately. I snatch it up. I'm sorry, you should have reached for it. You should have snatched it up.
If you aren't going to vouch for yourself, then who will?
The fully load-bearing nacho that has every component on it, and it's the only one on the whole fucking stack. Right from the top, I'm taking it, baby.
Yeah.
You can't stop me.
It's like 50% of the sour cream that they give for the entire thing.
Yeah, I took it. I took it.
And what are you going to do about it?
Sharing a dessert, I'll take the bite with, the frosting flour, if you will. That's who I am.
You know what? Sometimes you have to put yourself first.
I thought you were going to say how we just, like, grew up, we eat off each other's plates. So if you go to a restaurant and they bring your meal first, but I like it, I'm reaching across and grabbing some before my plate is down, before you've had any. I'm like, I need to have a little bite.
I love that.
That's something I thought was really normal until I entered adulthood and people started, like, kind of getting the nerve to be like, speak up and be like, please do not eat off of my plate. And I'm like, oh, you don't just do that too? Especially just at restaurants. I'm like, oh, your thing came? I'm gonna snatch a fry. I'm gonna reach my fork over and stab a little piece of ziti because it looks good. Like, what do you mean? That's
so also, funny.
The times where people have called me out really is for drinks. Like, I'll take a little sip of your drink. Like, it just looked good.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
Yeah,
that's so weird, though. I think that sharing food like that should be more normalized, because I do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe just ask first is what I should learn. I'm like, maybe I should just ask.
Well, it's like you get
I guess.
You get like a really fun drink. Before you know it, you passed it around to like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, it's halfway gone.
But I feel like it also goes in the giving way where you're like, everyone try my drink. Like, it's so good, right. Everyone needs to try it. You know, I'm not just a taker, I'm a giver as well.
It's a two-way street. What about you, Jen?
Or when you eat half your meal and the person you're with eats half the meal, and then you look at each other and you switch plates.
Yup, Mayan, I do that.
I love doing that premeditated when you're looking at the menu and you're like, oh, so you're gonna order this and I'm gonna order that and then we're gonna do swapsies?
Yeah.
Like,
yes, that's the best.
And I will go with buffet too, although I'll go to any restaurant, however it's set up.
Yeah, so true. Thank you, Jen, as always, and thank you for releasing us from the chains of a theme. No theme. It's liberating. And that's what we needed.
Yeah, did you guys like this movie or no?
No.
Not really.
No, this month you can't hit one, huh?
Yeah, lots of flops. Flop Tina, but you know, as we've established, we love to be haters. And I love to complain, so it could be worse. Yeah, Jen, thank you. We'll see you next week. We love you.
Love you guys. Have an awesome night.
Bye.
Bye.
I was honestly shocked that this wasn't a book.
Yeah.
I honestly figured it was, just because it has that same sort of feel.
So it is actually based on a play. Very loosely.
Oh, okay.
So there's a play from like the 1890s called Cyrano de...
Okay, I'll give her some credit.
Yeah, it's called Cyrano de Bergerac, and Cyrano, you might know, was a movie in like 2021, I want to say, with Peter Dinklage. They like remade it, but it's like a really popular play about basically this man who's very charismatic, but he's so ugly that he could never get a woman. And then it's basically him using this bumbling but very handsome man as like a messaging gateway to fall in love with this woman who then doesn't know that it's actually him. This whole deceptive love triangle, love quadrangle, whatever you want to call it. But like the deceptive nature of messaging through someone who they would typically find attractive is the core at this. This is not the first movie to use that as like a reference point, and weirdly enough, it's not even the first Netflix rom-com to do that. There was a 2017 movie with Noah Centineo and the bitch who played Barb in Stranger Things. I forgot her name. Oh my god. But the two of them were in like a Netflix rom-com, and it was basically this exact movie, except it was straight and worse. And it was like she pretended...
Worse!
And it was... Because it was like she pretended to be deaf. And she wasn't deaf.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like about her pretending to be deaf so that he would like have to speak to her translator, who was like a pretty girl. It was so wild. It was so
Jesus
wild.
Christ.
Like even more wild than this one. But yeah, I was like, damn, another Cyrano, like YA-based high school rom-com from Netflix in a span of like 3 years. That's fucking...
They're really just cranking out anything they can.
I guess so.
Yeah, this was pretty rough. I don't feel like I have all that much to say about it, honestly. The only time I giggled was when Paula scored a touchdown and they said... This is the first time the so-and-sos have scored in 15 years.
Yeah, I think they were called the Moose, which I liked. They were like the Saskatoon Moose, which I'm like, that has to be Midwestern, come on. But I understand why this took place in high school. I get the whole, like, YA verse, that this would be really appealing to maybe young queer people, especially, like, young queer Asian American people. I'm sure this could be, like, a really cool piece of media for them to have as, like, representation that I'm sure they don't get a lot elsewhere. But I'm like, why can't they just be in college? You're trying to introduce all of these, like, really heavy themes of, like, what does it mean to find the person you're meant to be with, and, like, two halves of a soul. And you're introducing all of these, like, kind of high level, and you want this girl, this love interest, to be this, like, really intellectual, like, she understands, like, Nietzsche, and she, like, fucking reads Karl Marx, like, she's so cool. Like, that girl's in college, I'm sorry. Like, that girl doesn't exist in high school, but she exists in college, and, like, their whole vibe just felt way more, I'm like, you can just make them the age that they look, you know? This did not have to be
fine.
set in high
I promise
school.
I promise you it's fine.
Other than them being like, oh, we're stuck in this town because we're, you know, underage and live with our parents and have to go to high school. I understand that mentality, like, stuck in this little town. That's fine, but, like, I guess we get rid of that if you're in college, but it wasn't that important.
I don't know, man. I think we're just 3 for 3 here.
Yeah, 3 duds, unfortunately.
Like you said, we were texting about this, and you said gay people can't have rom-coms. We already have pop music, so...
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I guess I just have to... I'll just watch Portrait of a Lady on Fire again, I guess.
Yeah, I think you said, you're like, gays can have period pieces. You guys can have
that's it.
period pieces and pop music. Sorry, you can't have rom-coms.
Yeah, lesbians can have the 1800s. Gay men can have
the 80s.
The 60s to the 90s, and that's it.
Except they're like, but your movies have to be devastating. Like,
yeah, exactly. If one of the main characters doesn't die, we're not greenlighting this.
I did appreciate that this movie didn't end super happy. Like, nobody really ended up getting what they want, which is honestly what I felt like they all deserved. I'm like, none of you really deserve to get, so I'm glad it ended, but I just really hated that surprise kiss at the end. That kind of ruined it for me, because I'm like, okay, this whole notion of this continual conversation that she keeps having with Paul about, like, you know, oh, what is it, you know, when the look on her face, when you know that she wants you to kiss her, and that's when you do it, and she's like, but how do you know what the look is? I'm like, no, like, you should probably ask. Like, you should probably ask before you kiss someone, not like, oh, I saw her furrow her eyebrow a little bit, so that's the green light for me to swoop in and attack her with my tongue.
Like, if you are, I don't think you have to ask someone to kiss them.
No,
I think it's fine. Obviously, if you're both if they're giving a vibe and you're getting a vibe, you know. But, like, yeah, just out of nowhere,
the surprise
jumping
kiss.
on her.
Don't do the surprise.
Don't
go
do
in
that
slow.
shit.
Go in slow. Give them time to say no, because the whole like her running and jumping into her arms and then being like, "I guess I'll see you in a couple of years," like whatever that was. I'm like, no.
I would fight you off if I saw you running at me.
Yeah, right. I'm in fight or flight mode, bro.
Literally.
Why are you charging at me? But yeah, I just felt like I wish that they all kind of ended like, you know, ultimately happy, but not like, you know, with any of each other or even having any lingering romantic tension at all between any of them. I just didn't really, I don't know, I didn't love the ending. I really liked, the first half had me kind of optimistic. I was like, this is cute. I kind of liked the vibes, but then it just didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, I thought it was funny how they just made her Phoebe Bridgers in the middle of the movie for no reason.
What do you mean?
The talent show.
Oh my god! Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So weird. She's like gonna play a piano thing, and then apparently the bullies, the school bullies clipped the piano wires. Do you know how much a fucking grand piano costs? Your families are gonna be charged like $9,000 for your damaging of public school property, you fucks.
Your shenanigans.
But they apparently like clipped the piano wire, so like the one note is like clunking, and everyone's like, tee, she's so bad. And then Paul, like in the most like self-insert fanfiction moment, and then he threw me the guitar, and I did what I never was brave enough to do before, and I played the song that I had written, which was so mediocre, and so, that was so believable. I'm like, yeah, High School Girl did write this song. This is
finally.
Right? It's like, this is the talent show of the girl who writes the song, and you're like, well, I guess you've grasped the basics. I guess you understand enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So strange.
And it was also the thing that bothered me too, was at the end of the movie, she basically gives the hot priest's monologue from, like, the finale of Fleabag. Like, love is painful and gross and makes you weird. Girl, the plagiarism!
Yeah, damn, you were out here plagiarizing essays.
Literally.
Not plagiarizing, but you know what I mean. But I have a fuck, marry, kill for you. So I picked out who our three stable legal adults are. And we've got the English teacher, who, trivia, is the same actress who plays Lindsay and Sam Weir's mom in Freaks and Geeks.
I thought she looked familiar.
Clocked her. You know, overly involved English teacher who's really encouraging her to apply for college. Like,
of course,
get the fuck out of here with that trope. Okay.
I did love that she was like, I don't care if you're writing all the essays for everyone. Do what you gotta do, but just go to college.
Yeah, I guess it was just that whole trope, although it's rooted in so much truth, I'm like, I'm so bored of it. And then our second option is going to be, of course, Ellie's dad, love of my life. And then our third choice is going to be Paul's mom. She was only in a few scenes, one of which mildly problematic. But Paul's mom, again, if you can clock, she was in both Orange is the New Black and Stranger Things. She's Dustin's mom in Stranger Things, and she plays one of the COs of the prison in Stranger Things, or in Orange is the New Black. Clocked her as well. I was like, okay, Netflix, I see you circulating your actors.
Rotating.
And of course, I'm gonna marry Ellie's dad. I'm gonna lift him out of his depression. We're gonna move to a major metropolitan area where an engineering firm will accept his degree. We're gonna, we're just gonna work on his resume and his interviewing skills, because I really think that he has it in him. He loves movies. We're gonna get along swimmingly.
Just fine.
And then of course I'm gonna fuck the English teacher, and then I'm gonna kill the homophobic mom.
Is it bad that I'm not gonna kill the homophobic mom?
You're gonna fuck
I'm gonna fuck her into submission.
Yes.
Oh man, I don't know.
Are you gonna kill Ellie's dad? Really? No, I want to drink those little yogurt drinks with him and watch it.
I love a Yakult. Oh my god, no. I'll marry him. He seems like a very sweet man, and then I'll kill the English teacher, because I don't fucking care.
But I could also see you with the English teacher. I could see the two of you really...
Could go either way.
That's why I wanted her to be, like, the lesbian mentor. I mean, like, I see
I
you...
know!
Right, that was a whole thing we could have gotten into that just... lost opportunities. And then you're...
But speaking of Yakult...
Yes!
I'm getting into it. I'm absolutely putting it in the mix with my drink. I found a nice Yakult lemonade, which you can easily spike. It's just like 2 Yakults, 2 tablespoons of honey, add some lemonade, and then I think rum would kind of be nice with it. Like a nice sweet rum.
Mine is almost exactly the same, except I saw a recipe where people put soju, so it's Yakult and Sprite, and you do... And then soju, they used the peach. I don't really like the peach one as much. Like, I'd maybe go for, like, a melon.
Kind of like the plum one, honestly.
Ooh, a plum soju and some tangy, yogurty probiotic drink. That sounds really nice.
Yeah. Also, you're gonna be shitting.
Oh, yeah. Like, nothing.
You're also gonna be hammered. The amount of times that I've had soju and just,
I'm like, it's juice.
She'll come for you. She'll come get you. And then I think that you take on a bit of a mesh of foods, the same way that Paul has been trying to with his taco sausage, or sausage taco.
The sausage taco.
Sausage taco. But I think you make some pork dumplings, and I think you make like a nice green salsa with tomatillos and cilantro and all that to go with it.
Wow, that sounds lovely. Mine is way less creative. I just thought about what is a good sausage taco, and I thought you used chorizo. And you do like a spicy chorizo taco with maybe some...
Yeah, someone needs to tell him about chorizo.
Right? I'm like, just because... What kind of European do you think his family ancestry is? Is that their family business is sausages? Do you think
What's the last name again?
I don't... Oh, what is his last name? Do we know it? I feel like Polish.
Yeah, they called him it like the entire time.
Oh.
Munsky. Let's see. I think...
Ukrainian.
That makes sense. I'm Ukrainian.
Yeah. Eastern European. I was like, what kind of, like, because I'm like, they're not Italian. If you're the sausage people in your town, I feel like you're either Eastern Europe, or, yeah, Eastern European
also, like,
or
German.
Italian, I guess. But yeah, I'm like, he's like, I want to change the family recipe, and he, like, knows what 5 spice is, and she's like, why do you know that? And he's like, because I'm trying to perfect the family sausage, bitch. Like, what do you think I'm doing in my free time?
I do love that that's, like, his calling. Yeah. That's the one thing.
Oh, and when she was the one who was sending all the letters to the editor of the newspaper to get them to be interested in trying his... I thought that was a cute moment too. But I'm like, come on. I was like, we can make a sausage taco, a breakfast taco that could go fire. Breakfast sausage.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's a lot. But when they showed it, it was so sad. It was like a linked sausage just in a tortilla. I'm like,
nothing.
No toppings. No zest, no pizzazz. I'm like, also, boy, what are you doing to this sausage? I bet he's making it worse. There's no way he's improving this sausage.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe throw some hatch chilies in there or something. I couldn't tell you.
Some sage.
Fuck it.
Sometimes I don't fuck with sausage because I don't really like fennel.
I don't love the crunch all the time of the casing. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. But what are you gonna watch after this? I am going to tell you a movie that you know is going to be bad, and that way you can enjoy it without having any expectations.
And that's Imagine Me and You. Oh,
oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
No, I think you watch The Kissing Booth.
Honestly,
another Netflix original, and you know it's gonna be shit, but at least it's gonna be a little fun because baby Jacob Elordi is there with a mop of hair.
Oh. I always forget he's in those, and then it, like, gets brought up, and I'm like, damn.
I love it.
He really did that. I've never seen them, but I know...
They're garbage.
I know exactly
amazing.
What they're about, for sure.
What about you? What's your rec?
I have, like, 3, like, half suggestions. My first half suggestion was Bottoms, because I was just trying to think of, like, what's actually a good rom-com that's actually romantic and actually funny. So many things are called rom-coms that are just, like, one or the other, not both. But I'm like, I think Bottoms is just a comedy. I don't think it's a rom-com. So I was like, Bottoms, no. And then I was like, you could watch the 2021 Peter Dinklage movie Cyrano, because I was like, I should add this to my list now, because as I was doing my little research, I was like, oh, I should watch that. So that's on my list for next. But I think in reality, I'm going to tell you we're going to graduate, right? This is like a YA movie. We're going to graduate. We're adults now, right? And what is sort of, I would not call this a rom-com, but it is funny at times, but it is also more of a drama, I would say. And that's The Worst Person in the World. And I think
I've been meaning to watch that for ages. I think
we're gonna take those, like, higher abstract concepts of, like, the self, right? And, like, who am I and where do I belong in the world, and, like, identity and acceptance. And I think that movie deals with some of those higher level abstract, like, philosophical, if you will, concepts in a way that just felt a lot more grounded and real than this movie being like, we're just gonna say, quote, and hope that you think on it enough for it to make sense. Like, not my favorite. No. But so I think you should watch The Worst Person in the World. A movie I am shocked we've never covered on this podcast, actually.
Fucking love that movie. Maybe we do that next month. We're toying with the idea of just doing good movies.
Movies that are good.
Next month. And I think that we should absolutely cover that one. I love that movie.
But if you have a movie that you think is good, please tell us to watch it by by commenting, by sending us DMs, by answering the little Q&A thing in the Spotify, if you will. Any sort of way you want to contact us, let us know what movies you think we should cover, please do so. Also themes, month themes, just general ideas. We love an inbox submission, is what I'll say. Cool. And what are you going to give this out of 10? I'm going to give it like a 4. Yeah, like a 4 or 5. I will never watch this again.
Nah.
It did not stick with me.
Nope.
I think, as far as representation goes, it's actually kind of wild. I found this statistic, that Alice Wu's other film, Saving Face, was the last, like, Hollywood American major motion picture film to predominantly feature a Chinese American cast until Crazy Rich Asians, which came out in 2017. So
that's fucking nuts.
From 2004 to 2017, there were no Hollywood American movies, like, predominantly featuring Chinese Americans. Crazy.
That's wild.
So, as far as representation, I'm glad that it's happening. I just think we need to keep moving in the direction of it's happening, and the content is good, right? Yes, and the stuff is actually good and being promoted and put out into the world so people can actually engage with it. Because some 2020 early, Netflix only release. Yeah, hopefully we can get there. And if you want to write a rom-com, I think you should do it. Mine is about me and Dev Patel is my rom-com that I keep submitting and nobody will read it.
Mine is Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook.
Oh, and it already exists, and it's called House of the Dragon. Watch it now.
No, it's called the House of the Dragon promo.
Yeah, press tour, right?
Oh my god.
They've been killing me to the point where I'm like, I might watch that show now. I'm like, you convinced me.
You have to.
They're just both so hot. I'm like, I've got to watch it.
What am I gonna do? What can I say?
I just caught up on the Bridgerton. I just am doing what people tell me.
Good. Matt Smith is a little creep. I love
Isn't
it.
he kind of sexy, though?
I think his sex appeal changes with his hair. He has really long hair. Not it. He has short hair. Love. He could get it. And then he has, like, this weird little bob these days, and it's kind of like,
Oh, wait, why do I feel like I'm gonna kind of like the long hair? I like a Legolas, you know?
You love a long-haired boy.
I saw this TikTok that was like, if you've been on birth control for, like, way too long of your life, right? Like, 6, 7+ years, that, like, your hormones are probably so imbalanced and so changed that, like, studies show that women who've been on birth control for longer find men with more effeminate features attractive than women who are not on birth control, who prefer more like alpha, like masculine, traditionally masculine. And I'm like, yeah, that's just why I like men who look like women. It's because I've been on birth control for 10 years. That's why. That's the reason. That's the reason.
It all makes sense now.
Right. But anyways, sorry. Goodbye. Have a nice night. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I have nothing to promote here at the end. We have nothing to sell you. I was actually thinking that instead of running ads, we should run anti-ads where I tell you about products that suck. So, like, it gives me a platform to be a hater. I think I already pretty vocally was like, don't use full body deodorant, but I'll say it again. My anti-ad this week is don't use full body deodorant. Don't do it. Don't buy it. You're gonna get cancer. All right. Love you. Good night.